Here's your host, Clay Nelson.
Hey, hi. Wow. Clay Nelson Life Balance Hour. On the day after the biggest election, one of the biggest changes that I've seen in my 65 years, other than the death of President Kennedy. But I got to tell you, it's a phenomenal time. Today's show is going to be all about, okay, the election's over now. What are you going to do? And I've asked several people that. I've asked my clients that. I've asked my neighbor that. I've asked some of the studio folks that. And they all look at me the same way. They go, well, I'm going to wait and see what Obama does. And that's what I don't want you to do. So today's show is all about participating in your future. That's the name of the show. All right. So this is a call-in talk show. So you can get a hold of me at, locally, you can call in at 564-1290. Or long distance, you can go 866-564-1290. So those of you that said you're going to call in from out of state that wanted to talk, dial 866-564-1290 and get on in here. Or you can email me at clay@mediasb.com. And let me just say, last week's show created so much email. I apologize to some of you because I haven't been able to answer it all. But boy, we sure stirred it up, which is good. I'm glad to hear that I'm glad to see that you're listening to the show and that some of you agree, some of you don't agree with last week's show, but that's okay. That's the great thing about America is everybody can have an opinion. So email me at clay@mediasb.com. And then today we're live, what do you call it we're doing? Live streaming, yeah. So we're live streaming it, and you go to www.claynelsonlifebalance.com/watch, WATCH, and you can get in there and see us live on the air, and you can communicate live via email, and we can just rock and roll that way. So there's local, 564-1290, long distance, no charge, 866-564-1290. Email clay@mediasb.com, or you can get in on live stream, and that's claynelsonlifebalance.com /watch, WATCH. So today's show, we've been through a year and a half of people arm wrestling all over the place and opinions flying and accusations being made and people taking sides and making up, what's going to happen if and everything else. And now, it must be really something to be an African American now to actually have a president of the United States who is an African American. I can't even identify. It'd be like me trying to figure out or trying to feel what it would be like to be a woman. I have no idea because I've never been one. I have no idea because I've never been an African American. But for African Americans, what a phenomenal day yesterday was, okay? And for us older Caucasians, it was pretty cool too. So, I got to tell you, I'm willing to stand behind the majority who voted, and thank you for all of you that did vote. And by the way, I really want to thank all the people that were out there that handled the voting places, I was voting at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was there about 15 minutes before the polls opened. And I think the youngest person in the voting area was about 83. All white hairs, all very cool, all doing their job, all a bit lost, all having a hard time, but none of them quit. None of them said, that's it, I don't want to do this. They all hung in there and they got their job done. So all you guys out there, all the white hairs out there that made the voting happen, I sincerely thank you for your commitment and your effort and your tenacity, because it took a lot to get that done. So thanks again. Now, today's show is all about, really participating in your future. So, it's like, I want to say something too about what my son said to me. I was going off to vote yesterday morning, and my 17-year-old son said to me, thank you for taking care of my future. And I was driving the car with Susan over to the voting area, and I was thinking about what a big thing that was for him to say. Thank you for taking care of my future. That really set me to thinking and about how historic and important the vote I was getting ready to make was. So think about that. Yesterday was a huge day in America. Yesterday started what America was built on, being unstoppable, cleaning up our act, starting to participate again, getting back to really believing in someone. And today's show is going to be about how you support yourself and that person you believe in. You know, Mr. Obama is not the answer. We are. So this show today is going to be all about how we can participate in being the answer and being the accountability and being the next notch up in responsibility for what is going to happen in the near future here. So now whether your guy won or not, okay, the success of our collective future and your individual future does not rest in who will be sworn in office in January. Your success and the success of our nation rests with us. The citizens of this nation, you know, you have to be active participants in creating and building an outrageous future. We're going to go through the show today, and I'm going to give you 3 or 4 websites that I want you to write down. And these are places where you can go in the state of California, or just about anywhere, depending on your zip code. And you can find out every elected official's contact information, phone number, mailing address, their voting history, everything else. So I want you to really take down this information and participate. If there's something you need to say, either in support or you want to change something that your elected official is doing, let them know. You know, I got to tell you, it's only been the last 2 years or so that I've been calling my elected officials, and I've never had one say, bite me and hang up. They've always listened. They've always said, I appreciate you taking the time, because it rarely happens. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So I want you to know they're not going to turn your name into the IRS, okay? You actually can have an opinion and not be made wrong for it. You actually can say what you need to say with respect, okay? Say what you need to say, and they do listen. They really do, all right? So let me see. I have to take a break here in about 2 minutes. So when I get back, I'm going to talk to you about the analogy between taking a cruise someplace and then what happens if you don't participate in, you know, with what the cruise director has to say versus what's going on in America. I mean, it's just the exact same thing is happening. So we have a caller, or do we take a break, or what do we do?
We're going to take this caller quick. It's Bill.
Okay. Hi, Bill.
Good afternoon.
Bill, you're on.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just participated, of course, yesterday and cast my ballot.
Good. Thanks for doing that.
Watched the events unfold last night. Went by pretty fast by comparison to the last couple cycles.
Yeah.
And some things passed and some things didn't. And I tried to put it into context. In terms of my future.
Mm-hmm.
And some of people who voted in the same way that I did on some of those props, for example.
Yeah.
They felt that some of those props should have passed. It would have made life better for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what do? If we're going to take charge of our future, we go back and say, you know what? It didn't go the way we wanted, so we go back through the process and run it through again.
That's right. Yeah, you don't quit. But see, that's what's really great about a democracy, is you can fail and get right back up and start again. You don't get made wrong for it. You don't get, see, I told you so. I mean, some people do the see, I told you so stuff. But if you really want what you want, I mean, really, really want what you want, you don't quit, and you get it back on the ballot, and you keep going after it. Like Proposition 8.
Mm-hmm.
Really depends on, that's a very private conversation about what you believe about same-sex marriage versus conventional marriage. And that the truth about how you feel really doesn't come out until your pin's filling in the little spot on the voting form, because most people don't want to talk about it. And so what they put $73 million into either going for it or going against it. Can you believe that? So there's big money, big out-of-state money, all kinds of things going in to move people into a direction that they weren't sure they wanted to go. And the way it turned out is Californians said no. Okay, but that doesn't mean that the people that want to change the law in the state of California has to give up. So that's what's cool about democracy. That's what's cool about what you're saying is, you don't have to agree. If you don't agree, speak up and keep speaking up. If you do agree, support the people that got it done.
Gotcha.
Got it?
Deal. Good
Okay,
deal.
now I want you, please. I want to thank you for calling in, but also I'm going to give you some website addresses that I really want you to write down. Okay, because if you have the chutzpah to call in and have something to say on this radio show, I definitely want you calling your representatives and let them know how you feel. Okay.